Welcome to Ballet Bites. Today we're diving deep into that famous ballet film that everyone's still debating. Its raw portrayal of rehearsal grind, the mental health layers, and the lasting impact on dance culture.
I'm really excited about this. So, the film premiered back in 2010, right? And since then, it's been stirring up discussions about everything from relentless rehearsal to, the intense pressure dancers face.
Exactly, and it really lays bare the cutthroat world backstage, like the casting pressure and, well, the graphic depictions of self-harm and hallucinations.
Yeah,
It's
that was
a real
something.
mix of truth and cinematic exaggeration.
Right, it's almost like the film's turning up the drama to 11. But then again, do you think it ticks all boxes when it brings up mental health?
Good point. So, the first big question is, when film dramatizes mental health, does it illuminate the reality of pressure or simply sensationalize it? On one hand, the performance anxiety and backstage intensity are so spot on, like that overwhelming panic before a debut, you know? Yet, the psychosis-level visions are clearly amplified for narrative effect.
Yeah, it's like, the film is giving us a peek into extreme emotional states. But, if a young dancer took that as the norm, it could be damaging. I mean, doesn't it risk, overtly scaring off potential talent?
Absolutely. It's a double-edged sword. While the real pressures are validated, dancers speak of the intense, constant anxiety. There's a danger when those rare, extreme depictions blend into everyday expectations. Modern companies now openly discuss mental health, with sports psychology sessions and recovery days, steering away from that silent self-destruction narrative.
Interesting. Now, moving on to the whole body double controversy. Isn't that one of the film's juiciest debates?
It sure is. The film's use of a dance double for the most challenging sequences, like those impossible 32 foot, really raises the question of authenticity versus cinema magic. Think about it. On screen, the seamless performance hides the composite effort that went into creating that illusion.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's as if the editing stitches together two worlds, the lead's persona and the skill. Does that blur the lines between who is really doing the dancing?
Yes, it does. For the audience, it enhances the immersive experience. But for dancers, it creates a disconnect. Why credit the double if the magic is attributed solely to the lead? There's an education aspect here too. Programs and featurettes can help explain that the performance is the result of, multiple experts working in harmony.
I totally get that. It's like the industry should, balance the artistic transformation with clear acknowledgement of all the behind-the-scenes expertise.
Exactly. And then there's the whole point about real casting pressure. The film shows a sort of Shark Tank sabotage, but in real life, overt sabotage is next to impossible in a professional company.
Right.
Casting is more structured with clear protocols, auditions, and stage managers tracking every move.
Yeah, instead of, poisoning point shoes or secret schemes, it's about who, looks the best during structured panel auditions.
Absolutely. The authentic pressure comes from daily rigorous scheduling and, the inherent need for consistency. Imagine practicing that same diagonal for hours until it feels, it becomes second nature.
That consistency is what builds a dancer's resilience, isn't it? But I wonder, couldn't one argue that reducing the backstage dynamics to just a single predatory relationship in the film oversimplifies things?
I see where you're coming from. While the film does condense complex power dynamics into a single high-stakes relationship for dramatic effect, in reality, the pressure is diffused among many interactions. Over the past decade, we've seen clearer boundaries, HR involvement, and even intimacy coordination practices to prevent abuse of power.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. It repositions the narrative from one of outright exploitation to a more systemic discussion about safeguarding artists.
Right. And then we get to the film's impact on ballet's public image and its pipeline. Despite the intense portrayal, there was a spike in interest, like barre-style fitness exploded afterwards.
Yeah.
But there's also the caveat of body image issues, when the public equates ballerinas with fragility and self-destruction.
Exactly. While more people got drawn to dance because of the film, it also pushed some harmful stereotypes. So, schools now have to, re-educate by emphasizing strength, conditioning, and injury prevention.
Right. And the industry is evolving. There's now an emphasis on showcasing powerful athletes on stage. The film may have opened doors by drawing attention, but it simultaneously sparked discussions on inclusivity and realistic body standards.
Totally. And speaking of evolution, what about the audition to stage pipeline since the film's release? How much has that changed?
Big time. The digital age has transformed auditions. Dancers now create reels, post-class clips, and use self-tapes where lighting and framing are almost crafts in themselves.
Yes.
It's not just in-person auditions anymore.
That's a game changer. And with wearable tech logging jump counts and real-time tracking of performances, it's like the dance world is merging with high-tech sports analytics.
Exactly, and don't forget the wellness layer. Companies have started investing more in staff physios, strength coaches, and even sports psych consultants. This structured support turns the old narrative of inevitable injury into, manageable and strategic training.
Right. So if the film were remade today, we'd see a much more professional and transparent environment, digital aids, clear casting feedback loops, and a balanced director-dancer dynamic.
For sure, there'd be an air of high stakes, but not at the cost of exploiting vulnerability. Instead, it's more about pushing limits safely.
Yeah, exactly. I love how it contrasts the cinematic storm with the real-life discipline and care that define ballet. But, do you think the film's approach to dramatizing rehearsal life accurately reflects the endless, almost meditative grind of class repetition?
Good question. In essence, yes, it captures the dedication. It's like practicing the same movement until it turns into a reflex, you know? However, the film's whirlwind montage compresses years of hard work into a few intense minutes, which, while emotionally effective, doesn't encompass the entire journey.
Right, it's a, snapshot of a dancer's life rather than the full reality, where every step is built over countless hours of practice.
Exactly, and that snapshot, while condensed, serves as a reminder that behind every flawless performance lies, an unglamorous, relentless grind.
For sure, it really emphasizes that discipline. Dancers come back day after day, taping toes and perfecting their craft.
Yeah, and that ties directly to our last big point. What this means for all of us, dancers, teachers, and fans. Dancers need to protect their engines, cross-train smart, and leverage mental tools, like breathwork and pre-performance rituals.
Right. And teachers should shift the focus from chasing perfection to building consistent excellence, clear feedback, and transparent casting. That's so crucial.
Absolutely. And for fans, it's about enjoying the film for its drama, while also showing up at a live performance to witness the raw, real discipline. It's, like comparing a blockbuster with a behind-the-scenes documentary.
Right, both are valid and complement each other. It's a conversation that spans from the cinematic portrayal to the reality backstage.
Before we wrap up, we need to give credit where it's due. The film's dance double work by ABT's Sarah Lane, and all the reporting that led to strengthened conduct policies across the arts. It's these threads that remind us the pressures haven't changed, only our response has.
Yes, indeed. And as a final thought, the film might have dialed the drama up to 11, but at its core, it celebrates the discipline of ballet, the repeated efforts, the real sweat, and the passion that brings dancers back every day.
Exactly. It's not just a story of nightmares, but one of determination and growth. So next time you watch that film, remember the layers behind each grueling rehearsal and every triumphant debut.
Great insights. Thanks for this deep dive. And to our listeners, whether you're a dancer, a teacher, or just a fan of the art form, keep questioning, keep exploring, and never forget that, hard work truly makes the magic happen.
Right on. Thanks for joining this ride through ballet's dramatic landscape. Remember, like and subscribe for more Ballet Bites, and leave your thoughts, both cheers and critiques, because dialogue makes us stronger.
Well said. See you next time for another 10-minute deep dive into the heart of dance and cinema.